just met Julia Jeffress Sadler and her family on the TLC show Rattled. Julia has been very open about her journey to becoming a mother, which wasn't easy.
That's right. She experienced 3 miscarriages in 1 year before becoming pregnant with triplets. Julia shares more of her story in her new book, Pray Big Things. Welcome.
Yes.
I love that title.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the baby's triplets. Wow.
Yeah.
What a handful, what a blessing.
Yes.
But it was quite the journey to get there, right?
Yes, my husband and I.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that.
I mean,
that is a swaddle if I ever seen one.
I can't take credit for those swaddles, but yeah, it was quite a journey. We like you said, we had 3 miscarriages in less than a year, and my husband and I met when we were 14, and so we've been together for a long time, and we just had different professional goals and things we wanted to do before having kids, and we didn't have any reason to think really anything was wrong. But we ended up getting pregnant immediately. I remember thinking, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And then we ended up losing the first baby, and then the same thing happened with the second and third, and so it was really devastating before, of course, getting the news we were pregnant with triplets.
and when you got the news, it's not 1 baby, not 2 babies,
Right.
3 babies.
Yes.
What do you think? What was that initial response?
Yeah, so I think people expect me to say I was shocked, but my husband Ryan and I actually were praying super specifically for multiples, 3 children, and for God to do more than anything we could hope or imagine. So
I love that.
actually, we weren't super surprised.
Yeah.
I actually was like, that's my God.
Yep.
So.
Wow, the prayer is so powerful. And just like Garth Brooks said, sometimes they're unanswered prayers,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you're both ministers.
We are.
So your new book, Pray Big Things, you talk about how God answered these prayers to your life.
Yes, so 3 years ago, we were just feeling kind of the pressure of New Year's resolutions, and we're like, okay, we need to do this, because that's what we do, apparently. And my husband Ryan and I just started talking about, well, what if we, instead of just making New Year's resolutions, actually started taking Scripture seriously? Not that we weren't, but
Really
we
leaning
really,
into it,
you know,
yeah.
James 4:2, you have not because you ask not. And so the only rule we had was we are not going to be embarrassed to ask God for anything.
Wow.
And so we made a list of 20 things. We didn't tell anyone, just between us, but that we were going to pray until they happened or until God clearly said no. And on that list were multiples, 3 children, and I had a family member that had been struggling with addiction for about 10 years, so we put her sobriety on there. And anyway, we started praying super specifically and consistently, and then experienced all the miscarriages. And so we really had to decide, are we going to keep going? Because clearly there's some correlation here,
Right.
but we just decided not to give up and believe even if we didn't understand, God had a plan.
Yeah.
Good for you. So in the book, you talk about obviously the anxiety and the stress that you went through, and also the 3 C's, which I really love, and I think is an
Yes.
important takeaway: to calm down, change your thinking, and confront your fears. Right?
Yes. Yeah, so God in His graciousness had me become a therapist before going through all of this, these struggles. And so while we were super excited to be pregnant with the triplets, we had so much loss that I was just ridden with anxiety through the pregnancy. And so we actually started putting the anxiety reducing skills to practice. So it's calm down, which it's really easy not to calm down in our society today with social media.
Right.
We're looking at comparing ourselves right before we go to sleep.
Constant
People are walking around with their caffeine shirts, which we know caffeine ups all of your nervous system. And so just doing simple things that we know are stressing us out, doing the opposite to calm down, and then changing our thinking. I mean, if we're that self-talk, telling ourselves, well, there's no point, and I'm not as good as this person, and then we wonder why we're not happy. I mean, clearly you can't have bad thinking and then have some kind of peaceful life. And then the confronting fears, people have told me they found this the most helpful. A lot of times anxiety comes from this idea that something can't happen. Like if that happens, I'm just going to lose it. You know, I work a lot with teenagers, and they're like, I have to get into this school, and if I don't get into school, I'll just, you know, die. And it's like, well, is that really true?
Right,
and
put it in perspective.
Right, and oh, sorry.
And no, just really quickly, I want to get to also, God sometimes doesn't answer prayers, right? I believe in the power of prayer. What happens when He says no?
So I talk about that with Pray Big Things, because while it's an exciting message and it's true, we also prayed for all those other babies to live. And so I'm a pastor's kid. I'm very real in this book about funny prayer stories, but thinking prayer is boring, or what about when God says no? And so two big principles. You have to feel it to heal it. We can't pretend like things are okay when they're not. And honesty creates intimacy, being honest with God.
Great job. Well, thank you so much
you,
for sharing
Julia.
all of that with us. A big thank you to Julia. Remember, her book, Pray Big Things, is available now.
Coming up, you're going to want to get your hands on this skincare set. It's 97% off. That is next in today's Style Deals.
Discomfort back there. Instead of using aloe or baby wipes or powders, try the cooling, soothing relief of Preparation H, because your derriere deserves expert